Now let's see what Dutch really thinks here. This is John Cena. Did John Cena lack the it factor? I don't think him and James talked about was Dutch a fan of Cena or whatever. If he did, I missed it. So.
Jake Roberts never thought that John Cena had the it factor. So here's the quote from Jake.
I don't think he did.
Really?
I don't feel it, man. Nothing personal, but I just always struggle with him. Just doesn't have that magic in him, man. You know, his interviews are okay, and his work was good, very good. But he didn't have that oomph. And he worked hard. He had to work really hard.
Is that a fair assessment on John Cena as far as you're concerned?
Well, I never saw that. If I saw John Cena when he was at Ohio Valley Wrestling, I would not say I don't know. I really don't. But sometimes when you put the machine behind a certain talent, he was young, he had the rap thing going on, and he kind of got over. Plus he won that title. How many times did he win the title? 16 times? He kept the record, right?
It's 15 or 16, and then Ric Flair complaining about it. So yeah, it's well over.
Flair.
Well, and he was there for how long? 20 years?
Yeah, he debuted in 2002. This is his last year, although, obviously for the last few years he's been very, very part-time. So, full-time he probably worked 16, 17 years. Full-time, maybe.
Well, but what he had in his favor was the book. The book, which was Vince, he pushed John Cena to be the top guy because he liked John, and John talked about a lot of things about kids and stuff, and he would go out of his way to,
even though he don't want kids, but I was about to say yeah, he was top dog 7 or 15 years, over 15 years, because remember Austin retired. It's the 03. Yeah, Austin retired. Rock went to making movies. Lesnar and Goldberg were gone, and Goldberg WCW guy now feels about WCW guys. There's a lot of them. Kurt, he went to well, technically, I don't know why they even put him there. I guess he was leaving anyway. Went to ECW and then went to TNA. So yeah, that's like who they had left. And then when they in the future try to make new guys, they end up going back to Cena no matter what. He's out for a month. This new guy that they tried to, I guess they worked with, make a new guy. The next thing you know it's right back to Cena no matter what. So yeah, I remember he's supposed to be. I remember folks was getting angry. I wasn't getting angry. I just surprised he came back so damn fast. But okay, I was supposed to say 4 to 6 months. He's back in a month and a half. And yeah. Okay, and Triple H was already a star, so that wasn't happening. Taker's already a star. Yeah. So it's like, who do you got? I'm trying to remember who was around back then. But Lesnar, Kurt, Austin retired, Rock in Hollywood. Yeah, so it was said the big star was getting short, and then I think Punk came in later, but it was still Punk or no Punk, still back to Cena
to help people who were down and out. So you got to respect him for that. But
He's talking about the Make-A-Wish thing.
I
He wasn't the only one that
agree
did that
with Jake
stuff.
that if I had seen him, I would have my doubts about him too. There is something missing with him, but it doesn't matter as long as he sells tickets. What I think doesn't matter. Or what Jake thinks doesn't matter. It's what Vince thought, and Vince thought he would be a great champion, and it turns out Vince was right.
With John, he's a very interesting character because he started off as bland nothing. So he had booties and little shorts, and he just had like no personality. And then they were actually going to cut him. WWE were going to cut the losses to get rid of him. That's how boring he was. And then he stumbled upon the rap character, and people loved it. Even though he was the bad guy, it was so great that it ended up turning him into a good guy some 18 months later, or whatever it is.
But what he found, he found one of the agents that he gave that idea to, and rap was just coming into its own then, and the agent liked the idea, and I don't know if John took it to Vince or the agent took it to Vince, but they sold Vince on it, and I think that bought him some time, and he would go out and he'd write his own stuff, and he would do it expressly written for whoever he was wrestling that day on TV or wherever, and he was pretty good at it, so they let him run with it.
It's like a modern day Lanny Poffo. He said that Lanny Poffo did poems and then John Cena did rap.
And Lenny was good. Lenny would make that up, and
a lot of rap is poetry.
I met
people don't
Lenny
think that.
The first year I started wrestling, I met him and Randy and their father, Angelo Poffo. I met him in the first years in the business because Randy was between minor league baseball, and he was there like during the winter. And his daddy was wrestling, and Lanny was wrestling, and I was staying at this place. They lived about 3 or 4 doors down the hallway from me. And
this simple remedy helps soft tools get stiff on command. You've probably heard that as men get older, things just go...
In commercials, boy.
I learned a lot from them, just being around them.
I want to give you this. So to John Cena, he does the rap thing. It gets popular. I think WrestleMania 20 when it's like the US title from Big Show or something like that. And then eventually he's elevated to the world title. And by that point, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe this is me misremembering or something, but it's somewhere along the way, WWE seemed to be new to his character somewhat. So they started stripping away the rap thing and the funny monologues and stuff like that.
He became the Boy Scout,
within the next couple of years, to the point that he never really did them anymore, and then his entire character seemed to just be colourful t-shirts and caps and jorts, and that was it. They made him less interesting as time went on, and I never quite understood why.
Well, needless to say, you think he made the money Steve Austin made?
Over the course of 20 years? In wrestling?
In wrestling.
Yeah.
If he made...
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still don't believe he outsold Austin or Hogan, but then again, he might have. Because the run was different, but only because they didn't have nobody else or give nobody else a chance. If they did, it stopped and started. Ryback, I remember that. Then when Cena came back, that was about over with. Punk, what? CM Punk, it still managed to come back to Cena, and then Roman Reigns, he got caught in the middle of it, people saying he was the new Cena, and then that wasn't working. That took 4 or 5 years to get that stank off of him. I know he was getting tired of it because Roman and Cena are 2 different people and 2 different wrestlers. So stop that. So if I had to choose one, I go with Roman. The all black. He doesn't wear the vest anymore, but the all black, and instead of these loud ass shirts and Sure. Well, he sold a lot of shirts. The parents, the kids, I want that shirt. They probably had about 50, 60, 70 shirts. Well, probably more.
Had double the amount of time. Steve would have had a big money making years. It would have been 98 to 2004.
But, and it's funny too when you think about Steve Austin's career. He was fighting the big boss. He was fighting Vince.
Even when he retired,
Vince,
he was still
I
popular.
think Vince McMahon, say what you want to about him, but in that ring he was magic. He would come out there and he'd downgrade those people. That's a good heel. Because a good heel he didn't just base his whole attitude on who he's wrestling. He compares him to the fans. Lowlifes, drunks, whatever. And he says that's why the people cheer him, because he's just like they are. He's just a no good SOB. So not only is he attacking his opponent, he's attacking his. Wait a minute, I lost it here.
Well, you find me. Yeah, he's attacking everybody that Steve Austin identifies with, which is basically everybody.
I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, one sec.
That's the secret. That's the secret of being a great heel. You take your hatred for your opponent and give it to the fans. You really hate them, and he did it great, really, really good.
Okay, so answer me this then. So John Cena in the mid 2010s, while you were with WWE, was it a bit baffling to you? Because really, as I say once again, like they'd stripped away the interesting bits of his character until there was just John Cena left. It was like he had a great body. By that time in the 2010s, he was putting on far more serviceable matches than in the 2000s. But was there any was it a bit weird to you that he was like the most popular guy in the company for so long?
Oh, they're about Daniel Bryan, but
he was in a no-win position following Steve Austin.
Still about Cena though. Still.
Well, I don't think he was in a no-win position because he ended up winning.
Well, winning, yeah.
What John Cena did,
that was
he appealed to the young kids. He appealed to those tweeners.
But why? What's his appeal? Did you ever work it out?
I guess he was acting like a rapper, I guess. I have no idea. But they loved him. He was pushed. Vince made sure that he was pushed. And anytime John Cena's name was brought up, whether by the announcers, they always brought it up with respect. So he was the face of WWE for 10 years, at least.
Wholesome.
And
he's so, wholesome as well.
So when you think
it was longer than that.
About John Cena, he knew, I don't know if he knew how to get over. They told him how to get over. He went out and followed the formula, and it worked for him. And he's still getting money from WWE today, not counting what he's done on TV recently, but his gimmicks, his merchandise still sells. And I bet he gets a hell of a check every 3 or 4 months or whenever they bring that out, just for the merchandise.
Yeah, he don't gotta do nothing else.
He didn't sell back in 2010s.
Yeah, of course, the merchandise. He don't gotta do nothing else. Yeah, all them figures and the shirts and I don't know if I just thought about that. I don't know if they probably sell them separately. The shirt and the hat is separate, but yeah. And the action figures, and this man's been in he's been in video games since, what was it, 2003, since PlayStation 2. That's a long time ago. So yeah, and all the SmackDown vs. Raw games, and all the WWE 2K games. So yeah, and the 2 or 3 SmackDown games before that. Let me see. Yeah, 2 of them he was in. Yeah. So. But yeah, but still, that's what I say. Popular is Hogan, Austin, and The Rock. I don't think so about that. Maybe to the children, that's about it. But when that glass broke, and which guy came out, he was popular, but or even like the Taker. Don't leave out the Taker now. So yeah. But yeah, a 15-year run. That is well, that is something else.